It's my honor to introduce the former Secretary of Labor, Hilda Solis. Hilda Solis has been serving the residents of Southern California since 1985. She started out serving on the Rio Hondo Community College trustees. She moved on to both houses of the state legislature, and then in 2001 she was elected to Congress. She served in Congress representing the 32nd District, and during her entire career she has worked tirelessly to make Southern Californians' lives better in numerous ways, whether it be environmental, health, in numerous ways. But one strand goes through, if you look at Hilda's record. She has always been a friend and champion of labor and workers throughout her entire career. And that is why President Obama appointed her in early 2009 as his Secretary of Labor. So please give a warm welcome to former Secretary of Labor, Hilda Solis.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please have a seat. Really want to tell you how honored and what a privilege it is for me to be here. And I'm delighted to hear that you call this meeting especially so that you could get a chance to get to know who I am. And it's a privilege. This I do know. The county is the backstop, what I would call the backstop, for whatever ultimately is decided in our communities. The LA County government in and of itself is really the security net in so many ways, whether it's for health care, whether it's for education, probation, law enforcement, the roads that are paved, all the structures that are maintained, and now even our telecommunication operability or inoperability. A lot of challenges. And many people don't associate that with the county. They think that's the city, or that's the mayor of LA, or that's the federal government. But they don't know who always necessarily the county person is, who to call. And that's why I think this role is so important. That's why I have agreed to step up to the plate and say I want to serve. Because I think that the connection, one-on-one, talking with people, being able to bring people together and really articulate a good message for what should be done at the local level, in not just the 1st District, but working across the county. My life experience comes with working with people and working in government, because I don't think government is a bad name. There are many people in our society who think government is a bad name. I don't believe that. I don't believe that, and I strongly believe in our workforce. And I knew at a very early age that working for government was an honorable thing to do. And whether it was an elected office or working, those are very, very prestigious things to do. And I just thank my parents that they were always very supportive of me and my family. So I'll leave it at that, and I think we'll open it up to questions. And I'm just delighted to be here. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ms. Solis, thank you so very much for that informative and inspiring words that you had to share with us. We're all grateful that you were here this evening, and at this time, this special reception that we're having for you, I want to take the opportunity for you to meet some of the members and give them the opportunity to ask a few questions of you.
Hi, I'm Lisa Andres, CAPE Director. I'm an appraiser with the Assessor's Office. And my first question for Ms. Solis would be about collective bargaining. Collective bargaining rights have been under attack for several years. In each of the high-profile attacks, from Wisconsin to Costa Mesa to our own statewide Proposition 32 last year, which sought to silence our vote in the political process, the motivation of the attackers, including government and party officials, as well as powerful corporate special interests, seems to be the elimination of any opposing interests with the ability to hold them accountable. What are your views on the need to protect collective bargaining rights, and how can CAPE members help educate the public to understand that the anti-union special interests are working against all middle-income families?
Well, to be honest, I think something that I said earlier was people need to know what it is that the county does. And speaking out about it, and I think that as a political body that this group represents, you also have a responsibility to work with the leadership of the County Board of Supervisors, those that are also in sync with what you believe. And I believe that most of them would, at least I know, I would certainly be one of those advocates. And I was in my previous job and will continue to support what public servants and what public employees. The notion that somehow public employees have destroyed our economy, that they're blamed because of their collective bargaining agreements or their pension plans or their salaries, is outrageous. What needs to happen is people need to see your faces. As I'm looking into the audience right now, I see a variety of faces. I see young people, I see older people, I see diversity. I'm sure many of you represent the constituents of all of the 5 elected board members. But how well do other people in your area of service are aware of what it is that you do and the kind of advances that you provide for the public?
Hi, Ms. Solis. My name is Ken Roberts, Vice President of CAPE. More importantly, I work at the Department of Public Works. My question to you is this. At the LA County Department of Public Works, we've seen an increase in the number of outside contractors doing the work of what should be CAPE represented employees. While there is a role for outside contracts, we believe the system is being abused by DPW managers who either A, find contracting more convenient than doing the necessary work to hire more qualified permanent staff, or B, they want workers without the protection of union represented employees. Can we count on you as a county supervisor to support hiring of county employees into these positions instead of using contract employees?
That was one of the first things that we did in the Department of Labor when I got there. We were required to look at those contracts that were existing before I came in, and then to come back and say, where could we replenish those slots with permanent employees? So that would be a priority, obviously, making sure that you have qualified, trained, credentialed, and individuals that can fill those particular slots. So yes, and it also behooves us to think about, if we have a graying population, it's hard to attract people in certain areas. Why are we not doing something to make sure that we have a stream of people, a pipeline, that is actually going to help to replenish people?
If you become the next county supervisor from the 1st District, you will join Supervisors Mark Ridley Thomas, Don Kanabi, Mike Antonovich, and whoever replaces the expiring term as Supervisor Zev Yaroslawski in the 3rd District. Discussion at supervisors' board meetings have been contentious at times. Can you talk a little bit about how you envision working with the other members of the Board of Supervisors one day?
I see it as, 5 members. It's pretty small, but a lot of experts that all the board members rely on, right? In terms of the directors and the division heads and all that, they all have to give you the same information. It's just how you look at it. Is the glass half filled? Is it half empty? Why? And asking those questions, and then kind of creating that relationship. So I think I'm looking forward to it if that happens, but I can tell you that I do know the members that will continue to serve, and they know me.
Good evening, Secretary Solis. Wanted to really thank you for coming out and speaking to us tonight. I do have another question, and it's of course another essay question, since we're professional employees. As you know, Los Angeles County is responsible for a wide range of important public services, including, just to name a few, roads, water, the environment, public safety, public works, construction, telecommunications, regional land use planning, property tax assessment, the arts, probation, social work, numerous social welfare programs, including caring for the county's poor, elderly, and disabled populations. Which of the many different areas of the county service do you believe would be a priority for you if you were elected to the Board of Supervisors?
All of them.
Good answer.
I'm fascinated by what I'm seeing here, but not out of ignorance, because I know that these things happen. I know that as a former legislator, as someone who helped to fund projects, maybe not necessarily through the county, but through cities and through the federal government and state and local government. I know how important it is and how many, over the past few years, our local government and our cities have really suffered, where declining budgets have really impacted the ability for you to do your work.
I've been a public works employee for 21 years plus. I have a follow-up question to contracting out. It's outside contractors and the tendency of the Los Angeles County Department of Public Works managers to use contractors instead of restoring CAPE represented positions lost to attrition during the economic downturn will continue to be an issue until the Board of Supervisors holds the Department of Public Works management accountable. The County of Los Angeles does not have a master database of contractors. Would you be willing to work towards a goal of creating a searchable database of contractors, categorizing by county department to track the county's use of outside contractors?
I think that's very important. There should be an accountability component there and information about what the project is, and just like you rate hospitals, right? And everything else. We did that in the federal government as well. Performance, accountability. So yes, it's very important, and it's not about protecting one group over another, but it's showing transparency. And I think that the public would want to be able to see what is available. And that's something that was very much on the forefront of this administration with the Obama cabinet members, that we immediately, as soon as we got that ERA money to do all these projects, okay, and I was in charge of about $67 billion, we had to have, through the Middle Class Task Force, Joe Biden, we had to orchestrate and make sure that we had all our plans and a checklist of where we were, what the progress was and what was completed, what city, everything was broken down, because the Congress demanded it. So why can't the public and the supervisors say, hey, this is a service that we're getting paid to do, what is it? And who's getting paid, and where are we? And is the performance meeting the appropriate standards that were set in the contract? So that is very important, and I'm sure you could probably really get a better bang for your buck, right? I mean, that's what the public wants. So I would think that's very encouraging to look at those kinds of things, and it probably goes beyond just contracting. So there's other ideas. I'm sure we'll be welcome to hearing that.